Hello, boys and girls, and happy Friday. This experiment is for next Wednesday, April 15th, but I'm going ahead and going to do the experiment now so you can start to get excited about some of the different materials that you're going to find in your basket. And for all of you who are joining us who are getting your own supplies and materials, I hope that you also will enjoy watching this video and feel free to try the experiment out earlier the next week. So what we're going to do today is we are going to chase pepper away with dish soap. Now, I know that that sounds a little crazy. Like, how are we going to do that? We're going to use science. So we only need a few simple ingredients. I have my dish soap. Any brand will work. I have a plate that has water on it, and I filled it to the brim about right here. You also can use a bowl for this experiment, but I wanted to use a plate so that way you could see the action a little easier. I have some ground pepper, ground black pepper, and then for those of you who don't want to use your finger for the dish soap, you could also use a toothpick, and I will show you that as well. So the first thing you'll do is you'll get your plate or your bowl and you will fill that up with water. You want a good amount of water. So if it's a plate, you want to cover most of it. And if it's a bowl, you want to fill it up probably about halfway, okay? So I'm going to tilt my camera down so that you can watch everything that I'm doing. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to add pepper to our water. And we want to add a good amount of pepper. That way we can really see this in action. So I want it nice and covered with pepper. Now, the pepper's floating currently, right? And that tells us a little bit about the surface tension and that the pepper is lighter than the water, so it's staying on top. Now, I want you to watch this. When I take my dish soap, and I'm going to use my finger to start, and I just dip it in so that it gets on my finger. When I put it in the center of the plate, all of the dish soap and anywhere that I bring it, all of the pepper separates, right? So now if I were to take a toothpick with some dish soap and stick it where the pepper is, I would see that I could almost make my own art. The pepper is separating. And why do you think that is? Does anybody have any good guesses? I'm going to do it one more time. So I'm going to use my finger. And boom, I stick it right in, and the pepper kind of like runs away from it. And anywhere I move it, it starts moving like it's afraid of it for some reason. And I'm not quite sure why. Well, when soap is added to the plate, the surface tension changes, and the pepper is no longer able to float back to the top. So it may be hard to see in the video, but all of my pepper is starting to dissolve to the bottom. Well, any pepper that has interacted with the dish soap, I should say. So the molecules that pull back from the soap, that is able to break down the surface tension of the water. So as the soap moves into the water, the surface tension changes, and the pepper no longer floats on top. And the water molecules want to keep the surface tension intact, so they pull away from the soap, carrying the pepper flakes with them. So if I just continue doing this with my finger, eventually all of my pepper flakes will sink to the bottom. So we have literally changed the surface tension of water simply by using our finger with some dish soap. So I hope that you enjoy and play around with this in a few different ways. And you can use all different types of things, toothpicks, popsicle sticks, things of that nature. And put a little bit of pepper or more pepper, less pepper. You also can put food coloring in it if you'd like. So thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful Easter and holiday, and we will see you next week. Thanks so much from Kids to College.